I'm a language study guy. We've talked about that. One day I got interested in kanji. What the hell is a kanji? It was a little bit more organized rambling. That's not very interesting. Cut all that shit out. I just don't think I feel like it. Maybe it's time to finally take on why Japanese is the hardest language in the world. Now, see, I'm not alone on that. There's statistics out there. In a class with Korean and something else as the hardest language in the world. But I was just looking around today and I saw something and I wanted to show it to y'all. Well, I wonder, are you gonna think, boy, is he ever cleverer? Boys, he's lost his fucking mind. Most of that stuff says things like, when I was a child, I watched too much television, but in Japanese. I told you about the kanji. It started out as an oral language, meaning simply that they had no writing system. But with the spread of Buddhism, the Chinese came by and said, here, try these. Okay, so the first written language for the Japanese were those goofy kanjis. I say goofy, actually, they've grown on me and I'm starting to find them quite beautiful, really. But maddening because what happened is you have a Chinese character with a distinctive Chinese pronunciation and a meaning attached to it. If you take that and stick your language on it, say Japanese, then you're gonna have that reading too. So they've got the kunyomi and the onyomi, and I forget which one's which, but I'll clear it up over my favorite spot. So some of the scholarly people, they've decided that they've got to simplify this. It's gotten out of hand. They liked it, and they still clearly like it. They're still using it, but they needed another alphabet, they felt, for words that weren't expressed very well by the Chinese characters. Thousands of Chinese characters that they use in Japanese. They also have a phonetic alphabet. Phonemic, I think, is more the proper word, but they have that twice. They have it twice. The reason they have it twice is that one group is for Japanese words or phrases or, you know, grammatical things like particles, really fucking boring. Japanese things that belong to the Japanese language. Ohayo gozaimasu. Other one is for me and a lot of you, probably most of you, Western people, because a lot of loan words came in originally. I found out, I didn't know this before, from Dutch, believe it or not, because the Dutch were among the first people to visit that part of the world, and so they wanted a writing system for them. And then by last century, this century, maybe even the 19th century, a whole shitstorm of English words came into the language, and they needed a writing system for that. And that's the less elegant but very useful katakana. If I had approached it in the best way, in an ideal way, I would not have started with kanji. This is the best textbook ever, and I showed you another video, Genki, and they start with, I believe they start with our very own, what's called Romanji, and that's, you guessed it, some of you, the Roman alphabet, the ABCs. They'll start with that to teach us poor bastards how to read Japanese words. And then, once they've given you a chance to get used to the hiragana, they'll start using hiragana. Once you're starting to get used to your hiragana, they will gently and very carefully sneak in some kanji. But anyway, here are some of the ones we use in grade 1. Here's some of them we use in grade 2. less happy with those. I could read a lot of those, I think, but to write them from memory or something, I don't think I'm going to be very lucky. You have the kanji, you have the hiragana, you have the katakana, and sometimes even the romanji, instead of like we Westerners are very used to, one alphabet, one language. Really, so far, all I've covered is the written language. That's probably one of the biggest stumbling blocks, because it can be exceedingly baffling. I think that's going very well, don't you? Although I think it's going to require a part 2 at some time, maybe not right away, maybe I'll need a break after that. Anyway, thanks for watching, because presumably, if you're watching this, then you got to the end. Take care of each other.